You don't deal with it. You don't deal with it. Gee. Sort it out, Trudeau, now. Let's keep pushing this bail reform. I don't know why Trudeau's taking his sweet time over this, but people are getting killed daily and he's not addressing the bail reform. In other words, he's catching criminals and we're letting them out on bail. Let's see what you guys have to say on the radio when you call in. Nobody's happy about it. Nobody.
And numerous times we've had them on our roof, running across, 2 o'clock in the morning, staring at the bedroom windows. We've had windows smashed, we've had doors kicked in, we've had tires slid, and it's always the same person. And, you know, he terrorizes the kids in the backyard. It's like if they're in the backyard playing.
What are you waiting for, Trudeau? Sort out the bail reform. Get these kids behind bars.
And he's been
stop catch and releasing.
We've been here 11 times. And he never serves more than 30 days.
This guy.
We had two incidences where he actually walked up to a guy that was in his car, smashed his window and grabbed him, and he was home the next day. So the system is so flawed and so broke that, you know, people like this are terrorizing. You know, we've got, argument's sake, one person terrorizing 1,100 people. It's happened. It's happened, and that gentleman actually was charged with assault. Of course. Yeah, that's just our flawed system, and you know, we're in Barrie. We have a huge homeless problem here.
Remember, you can't defend yourself in Canada.
You know, the same thing. You know, you go downtown, you see the police with somebody, you know, you don't see the person for a couple of days, you know, after taking the dog for a walk, sure as hell they're there again, you know, within 3 or 4 days. Right? So there is no reform at this point. There's nothing in place for reform, and catch and release is the only way our judicial system seems to operate.
What's the point of police officers arresting people if the courts are just going to let them go? What's the point? Get it into the thick heads. What are you waiting for, Trudeau? Sort out the bail reform.
Eliminated, I think, with 12 mandatory sentences for crimes, including gun crimes. They've got race-based sentences, so if you're of a certain background, you get a softer penalty. There's actually a really good video with Mark Holland, who's probably the most prominent Liberal who flies under the radar all the time. And him, and I think it's Garrettson, the Kingston MP, lamenting, and it's an interview between the two of them. And Mark Holland is lamenting the plight of criminals in our prisons. So their track record, to me, speaks for itself. At the same time, they've spent an inordinate amount of time and energy on licensed gun owners. So it's like, let's go soft on criminals, let's go hard on licensed gun owners. That seems to be the crime and justice agenda.
Soft on criminals, hard on citizens. The lunatics are running the asylum. That's what's happening.
Liberal government will never reverse what decisions they made because they have to admit they were wrong. And no politician will ever admit they were wrong. So,
but they are wrong.
You know, when
it's crazy.
Running the country, when the fool is king, idiots will follow.
They said if the fool is king, the idiots will follow. Last word.
Unfortunately, we are in a state where people do not care anymore. It's just human nature. I'm not
comment below. What do you think? Is crime out of hand in the country you're in? Or if you're in Canada? Well, it obviously is.
Yeah, society at large doesn't care, but you know what? They live in their own world. They live at their level. That, you know what? It doesn't bother them going home at night. It's just pass it by, sweep it under the rug. Every 4 years, there's a pay increase to a certain group of government workers. They just keep going, and the money's not there. What happened to the areas where people could go, the institutions? All gone. I vaguely remember an institution back in the 70s. Now, they don't care. Let them walk the streets. It's sad, but it's true. It is true. If it's not affecting your life right there in your area of town, you don't care. You walk right by. It's sad. It breaks my heart.
That's exactly it. If it doesn't affect you, Mr. Politician, in your gated community, then you don't give a crap about people who have to be outside. I mean, and mix with these criminals who you're releasing every time, hey? And you judges, you're all there in your high-rise apartment, gated community buildings. You don't have to put up with this, you know? You're not traveling to the court on the TTC, you're traveling in your Mercedes through your gated community, past your security, yeah? You don't deal with it, you don't deal with it. Gee, sort it out, Trudeau, now.